Hi everyone, this is John with Sir Winston Honeybees. Today is Sunday, May 24th, 2026. It is the weekend of Memorial Day, so we keep in our hearts and minds those who made the ultimate sacrifice for our great nation. Thank you very much for watching the channel. So what's the deal? Well, the deal is that I'm actually a high school teacher. I teach audio video production and history. A nice combination of two subjects. And I started this as a little hobby to just kind of teach my audio video production students how to be YouTubers. Been doing this for about 6 years now. And it's been a lot of fun. You know, I've been making, I don't make that many videos, but I'm trying to keep the content up for my viewers. And so with that in mind, I'm asking you, if you're watching, you casually stumbled upon my channel, please subscribe and please like my videos and, you know, try and keep my students motivated and me motivated, obviously, to do more of these videos. So more of the deal with me. I'm living in Northeast Ohio and I have two beehives. I've had them for several years, actually, since I started beekeeping 6 years ago. I actually started as a COVID thing, as many of you know, start hobbies during COVID. And so I got one hive right here and one hive right here. And what you'll notice about these hives is that they're bee barns. And bee barns are kind of a unusual thing created by a guy in Massachusetts called Jim. From his YouTube channel is Vino Farm, but he hasn't made videos in several years. He says he's getting back into it pretty soon, and we all here in the beekeeping community are hoping that Jim gets back to his beekeeping videos because he got sick with COVID, and I'm not revealing anything that people don't know about. He's already commented about this on his YouTube channel. So he got long COVID, and the guy's awesome. So he's recovering, obviously. He's doing much better, but he'll be making his videos soon. Anyway, after all that, what are we doing here today? Well, if you watch my channel regularly, as my friends and family do, these bee barns, I'm actually going to be transitioning out of them here in the next couple of weeks. But also, this hive right here had no queen the last time we went into the hive. Now, the last time I actually popped into here was about 2-3 weeks ago. Definitely didn't open this hive for 3 weeks. I did see some queen cells, and I'm seeing some behavior that seems to be different than I've seen in the past. It's not as bouncy, aggressive outside. So my hope is that there's a new queen in there. That queen has mated, and that queen is now producing brood. And this one right here should be okay. Gentle nature so far. So we'll see what's going on in there. I have actually a temperature gauge inside both hives. They're called BroodMinder, by a company called BroodMinder, of course. And I sync from my home about 100 feet away or so the information from the hub, and it's showing me that this one has brood. I don't know how it calculates those things, but you know, I'll be happy to go in there and see that we have a new queen with brood. If we see the queen, we're going to go ahead and try and mark her. Don't have a lot of time, obviously, today to do a lot of things because it being Memorial Day weekend, you know, friends and family coming over, and you know, I'm actually going to be going over to the neighbor's house to have some fun over there. So what else is going on that I need to share with you? Of course, I am partnering with the smokeless smoker by Apisolis. And this is a company out of France, Apisolis. And they have been kind enough to partner with me here at Sir Winston Honeybees and help me out with a smokeless smoker, which I will show you here in a second. And also, I kind of have a new partner, and they've promised to help me out with some free software, and this is AutoCut. AutoCut is a utility, an extension that if you edit videos using Adobe Premiere Pro or DaVinci Resolve, I use Adobe Premiere Pro. It's actually AI video editing software that basically just helps cut a lot of those large silent gaps, which when in beekeeping, you get into these hives, you're videotaping, and there's a lot of silent gaps as you're in there exploring your hive. And then we beekeepers, you know, YouTuber beekeepers, we talk, and then we stop talking as we explore more. And so this software is going to automatically just eliminate those gaps. So again, this is AutoCut, and I'm excited to partner with them. That'll be more official here in the next couple of weeks. All right, so we're checking for the queen in here. We're seeing what's going on in here. And of course, the other thing we're checking is to see if we are if the bees in this this top chamber right here, it's a deep chamber or a deep box, to see if those infinity frames that I put in there from 21st Bee are actually getting drawn out. So we want the queen to move up if she's in there and put brood in here, and that way I can use these frames, and I'm going to put them down as I transition out of my bee barn. Anyway, those are videos for the future. Let's go ahead and get inside the hive and see what's going on. All right, so here's the Apisolis, and if you're watching my videos the last time, you might have noticed something a little bit different, or you're noticing something different today, is that I have this spout right here that Damien from Apisolis has been sending out the 3D printing file for this particular attachment that goes right on their spout to point the smoke downward, which is very, very helpful. Obviously, when you're beekeeping, this is the first time I've used it like this. I actually don't have a 3D printer, but my local library in Akron, Ohio here has a thing where I can send them the file and they'll print it for me for a very minimal cost. So super happy to have done that. So let's go ahead and start up the Apisolis. By the way, I didn't mention it, it's about 62, 63 degrees, and it is calm and not windy. The last time I was in here, it was super windy. So not windy, but breezy anyway. So let's go ahead, start up the Apisolis. All it takes is about 3 pumps. 1, 2, and those beeps means it's ready to go. I refilled it from the last time. A couple things obviously that you learn as a beekeeper, and look at that. Look at those puffs of smoke. Thick and rich, and just like my mom's goulash. Thick and rich. All right, we're going to go into this one first, just because I'm anxious to see what's going on in here with the queen. And even though nectar's coming in, I've been feeding them because I want to help them draw out these frames over here. So hopefully that's something that's going to happen. We're seeing obviously some more propolis. It's been coming in as well. I do have some propolis traps that once we get into the dearth, I'm going to start taking in propolis. All right, so there's a lot of bees over here, and obviously they're escaping through the little gap right here on the bottom of the feeder, but other than that, everything's okay. Look at this. It seems super calm, even though the population out front is starting to get a little agitated. These bees right here are pretty calm. That's a good sign. I'm excited about that. Quick inspection for hive beetles, something that I had a problem with a little earlier. I don't see any hive beetles up here, and hive beetles are kind of a pest inside the hives. But I'm going to go ahead and once I take off this inner cover, we'll see if there's any hive beetles on the other side of it. I don't see a queen up here. Going to take a quick look. This wouldn't be a place for a queen to hang out. This feeder is empty also. We'll go ahead and puff them right now. See how they react. They should move down and out of the way. The other thing about the Apisolis, Damien recommends giving long, slow puffs. All right. So the moment of truth, first of all, obviously, I'm just going to open this up and give a couple puffs inside. Quick check on my inner cover. See one hive beetle. Go ahead and smash that down. Keep looking for more hive beetles. This is the BroodMinder that I was talking about. Basically a temperature a sensor for the hives. No sign of the queen on this. I like to put this in front just so that the bees can come and go off of this cover. Okay, now we'll go ahead and see how we're doing with drawing frame on these 21st Bee. These are extruded plastic frames, and I'm seeing on them, I'm seeing drones obviously, and I'm seeing some propolis, but I'm not seeing any drawn comb on this particular item. Move this to the side. No drawn comb on here. I'm taking a quick look at the ones that are drawn with some nectar in them. These nectar, as you can see, plenty of drones, but also plenty of young bees as well. So we're not drone rich, if you will. So we do have a combination of drones and obviously female bees. Drones are males. So they are depositing nectar into here. Let's see what's going on. As you can see, once again, Hive's getting a little agitated, and this is a bit of a concern because if this hive, their temperament is mean, well, we're going to have to, no drawn comb. This is very disappointing that these frames aren't getting drawn out. I don't really know what else to do. Maybe we'll put some wax on them. Once again, we have some bees in not a very good mood. As you can see, they're all over me, so that's not good, obviously. This is a mean hive, very mean hive. So let's go ahead and take this top off. Oh, it's very heavy for sure. Not a good situation with these bees right now. As you can see, they are quite irritated. But this first frame right here is the one that has that suspended comb. There's no frame and they're full of nectar. Alright, let's keep lots of honey on there too. I'm going to go in a couple of frames and investigate if I see any brood real quick without looking at all the frames. I do see some new comb that's been built up. Honey. I'm going to go in a couple of frames and investigate if I see any brood real quick without looking at all the frames. I do see some new comb that's been built up. Honey. I'm seeing honey, but no brood on here. No brood on there. See drone brood, but not a lot. No regular brood there. Go ahead and puff the Apisolis a little bit. Nothing. Brood. No brood here either. They've been depositing nectar and honey. This is a queenless hive. I can tell you right now, there is no queen in this hive. And you can tell from their temperament that they're not happy. So we got to close this guy up. Obviously, move on. So what the plan is going to be is we're going to have to get a frame of eggs from my other hive and put it in here. You can see this is not a friendly situation that you want to be in. So this is something you want to get out of ASAP. Go ahead and do this. Put it back together. As possible. Alright, putting this one back together. As you can see, I am surrounded by angry, irritated bees. So, let's close this one off and move on to my next hive. Should be calming down here in a minute. Okay. All right. Moving on to my next hive. And let's see what's going on in there. All right. This feeder is empty too, so I'm going to go ahead and make some more syrup, maybe. Let's see how the bees are behaving in this hive here. They're in a better mood. All right, so that's an unusual situation that as a beekeeper, you know, you want to stay away from that. Obviously, you don't want angry bees. Looking right here real quick, this was the hive that I had the problem with the small hive beetles, but I dealt with them through using small hive beetle traps, and they got dryer sheets without scent on them. But look at these bees. These bees are very calm, and they seem to be happy, right? So let's go ahead and smoke them down a little bit, and let's see how they're doing drawing out these frames from 21st bee in this hive. There's more bees in this hive, or up here in these frames, I mean. I see drones and regular female bees, and look at their temperament in comparison to that other hive. So like I said, that hive is in need of a queen, and obviously there's two methods. You can introduce a new queen that you purchase. Those cost about 40 bucks. Or you can, let me shake these up. Or you can create your own. So my plan is to create my own. The next time I come in here, I'll come in with a plan. You can't really go in without a plan. You can't just kind of wing it. It's like, oh, I'm gonna, you know, half-ass it now as I go along. So the plan will be next time is to get some frames with eggs off of this hive, put them in that, and then they should create a queen from that. So no drawn comb on these infants too. Get some frames with eggs off of this hive, put them in that, and then they should create a queen from that. So no drawn comb on these infinity frames from 21st Century Bee, which I gotta say is a little bit disappointing. I was kind of hoping that by now we'd have that, but what I'm seeing is in my next frame, I am seeing new drawn comb. So they are drawing comb, just not in those 21st Century or 21st bee frames. You see right here, we have all new, you know, this is full of nectar and probably some syrup as well, but full of nectar, mostly nectar. And again, there is newly drawn comb on here. You see the white colored, light colored comb? That's all new comb. So they are drawing comb, just not, oh, wait a minute. Nope, just not in those infinity frames. So I think what I'm gonna have to do is wax coat the infinity frames a little bit. And I was kind of thinking that they were already coated, but apparently just not enough. Oh, wait a minute. Look at here. We have drawn comb. All right. So they are drawing comb on here. That's encouraging because I was really getting discouraged about that. But now that they're drawing comb, it's a good sign. Do I keep feeding them for the sake of honey? Well, for the sake of the frames, yeah, I think I do keep feeding them. More new drawn comb on this next frame. Right now, I'm still being irritated by bees, but those are bees from the other hive that are still mad at me, and they're over here. Okay, so drawn comb, lots of nectar. They'll be capping this off, and maybe I can pull some honey off of these here in the next few weeks. But I don't see any sign of a queen up here. Let me move over to this side. Seems to be no drawn comb, but again, super calm bees on this side here. And let's see if they're drawing any comb on this. Not drawing comb, but again, see how calm these bees are on this, in this hive. So let's go ahead and close this guy up. And then we're gonna go ahead inside the main part of the hive and take it from there. I do like this Apisolis, but I have to say, when I puff the Apisolis, the bees seem to react with agitation. They get louder. So as I'm here Once again, I want to remind you, if you stumbled upon this hive, once again, just want to remind you, if you stumbled across this video, please subscribe to my channel. Please like my video. Oh my goodness, this is so stuck. Wow. There we go. That propolis really sticking. There we go. This is really heavy. All right, here we go. Look at these bees. Chill, calm, collected, properly behaving as bees should. Just want to move them down into the chamber. Again, I still have bees around me, and those are still from my other hive. They're still trying to tell me, hey, don't even think about it, pal. But I have to think about it because we're going to need some eggs. So next time I come in here, which will likely be next week, we'll be stealing some eggs from this hive. Some beekeepers. All right. Whoa. Well, that's not good. Seeing a lot of drawn comb on here. And, oh, there's no, so they drew all new comb over here because there's no frame below it. These are, oh, I see some regular brood. So I think we're good. I'm going to go ahead and put this one back in because I am afraid I'm going to do a little operation here, actual frame on it. So we'll switch them around. Now we'll explore this frame right here. All right, so we have cat brood on this side, and I'm going to show you some cat brood on this side as well. So obviously we have a queen that's laying. Let's go ahead and scan this frame for the queen, just in case, before I put this on the ground. More, you can see some cat brood right here. You see plenty of, well, we see pollen or bee bread that was deposited earlier. I see some fresh larvae. That's good. Not seeing any eggs on this one. Go ahead and put this down. See drone brood. Lots of cat brood on here. Fresh drone brood, cat brood. So this would not be the frame that I would put in the other hive, only because there's no eggs. We need eggs, new eggs, and larvae. No queen on this frame that I can see. This would not be the frame that I would put in the other hive, only because there's no eggs. We need eggs, new eggs, and larvae. No queen on this frame that I can see. Cat brood on this side. See some fresh larvae down in there. Oh, I see some 3 bees emerging. 3 drones emerging at the same time. Right here. 3 drones emerging right here. Oh, there's another one right here. And a couple more right here. Today's a happy birthday, bees. The queen spotted on here. Flip it over. Lots of larvae on this one. No eggs though. This looks like a, right here. See this peanut looking thing here? That is what looks like a Supersedure cell. Could be a swarm cell. Let's go ahead and see. It looks like it's charged, and there's a potential queen larvae right there. So we go ahead and get rid of that. I believe there's a queen in here, and we don't want to replace her. Once again, a reminder to please subscribe to my channel, like my videos, so that I can keep producing these videos for you, for me, or my students. Cat brood, drone, let's see, of course, drone brood. Not an awful lot though. Oh, we see a lot of, right, I'm seeing a lot of larvae right up here in this area. Look on the other side. Cat brood, larvae. This might be the place where we could find a queen, because I see larvae. You know, it's always hard to spot a queen in a hive unless you're really good at it, which I'm not, because, you know, they all kind of look the same. That's why we mark them, make them stand out. I see her on here. Doesn't mean she's not on there. That just means that I didn't see her on here. All right, let's get that Apisolis a few more puffs right now, because we're coming up to the top. And obviously, I keep pinching my tip of my glove. I need to pull these up a little bit. Still being pestered by bees from the other hive. More larvae in there. Nope. There's another cell. Really, I'm going to leave that alone until I find that queen, or I could just put that in the other hive. Unless I find the queen, I don't want to stick a frame with a queen in that hive. Now, we have a good queen in here, which we could possibly have. She might be a couple years old, though. We'll go ahead and leave that. It's not a swarm cell, so I feel like the queen needs replaced. Let them do that. We're gonna check a couple more frames. Oh, we got a good cat brood on here. Cat brood. We've got more Supersedure cells. 2 of them here. Again, since I'm not spotting the queen, excuse me. Since I'm not spotting the queen, I'm not eager to move this frame over to the other hive. But definitely, these are not swarm cells. Again, these are just Supersedure. And I can't imagine they want to swarm because they have a lot of room in this hive. Bees swarm because, well, mostly they need more room. Lots of fresh larvae on here. A couple days old. Frame. I'm feeling rain. I mean, there's brood. There's drawn comb, cat brood, larvae. You must be thinking maybe something's wrong with this old girl. So it's not like this hive is like super loaded. All right, it's starting to rain. So real quick, let's go ahead. Got one more last frame here, obviously. See where we are. I don't expect anything here. Kind of looks the same as everything else. And they're kind of giving me the sign that it's time to move on, especially because it's raining. So let's go ahead and push this all back together. Be careful. These bees have had enough of me too, so they're telling me, you know, they're telling me, look, we were cool for a while, but we're not going to be cool anymore. Get out of here, bro. We want our hive back. All right, so we're closing up slowly, pushing them together. We don't want to crush any queens potentially. Let's go ahead and give a couple more puffs. You know, I have several times put the frame down where the queen was, so let me give one more look. It wouldn't be the first time I set the queen on the ground. Now, I'll tell you, if they are on the ground, unless I step on her, they can't crawl back into their hive. So queens can't really fly. They can if they don't really fly because they're too heavy. I'll put this here just to cover this hole. I'll make more honey, more syrup, or not. I have to evaluate what I'm going to do. It's raining right now, so I don't want to stay out here and get wet or get wet bees. All right, well, as you can see, I'm keeping my veil on because it's kind of a messy situation, to be honest with you. This hive is a mess. It's a mess. I'm not really sure why it got that way, but it needs to be fixed. So again, solutions are bring some eggs from this hive, but I'm not sure what's happening in this hive either because I'm seeing Supersedure cells, not swarm cells, but several Supersedure cells. These are cells where queens are being replaced. So do I wait for a new queen to emerge here and then start laying eggs? This hive's a mess. There's no queen there. So I could buy a queen, spend money on it, or use my own queens. So there's definitely no queen in that hive, so I'm going to have to explore the best option and see what's going on. So I'll come in with a plan next time to find that queen, more focused, especially because it's raining now, more focused to find that queen. Once we've found that queen, we can isolate her and look for a frame or two with eggs and larvae, and then move that over here and let a queen emerge there. All right. Obviously, there's no queen there, so we have to figure out, you know, what to do. These bees are mean. These bees are super mean. They're still all over me, and I stopped that inspection half an hour, 25 minutes. Anyway, so that's it for now, I guess. Yeah. What I want you to do, of course, is subscribe to my channel right here. Thanks to Apisolis and, of course, AutoCut Pro, or AutoCut. I think it's just AutoCut, helping me with editing this video. So, you know, I've recorded over an hour of video, and it's going to be 20 minutes long by the time AutoCut does what it's supposed to do. Also, thanks to this suit right here. You know, this is from Blue Sky Bee Supply, and I'll tell you what, so far it's kept me safe, and that's always a good thing. So again, subscribe, like my videos. Thanks a lot for watching. Until next time, This is John with Sir Winston Honeybees, and happy bees, everybody. Or not so happy.